Don't even think about visiting Dorney Park without hearing these must-know tips and tricks, which will save you a lot of time and money. I've been to Dorney Park a bunch of times over the past few years, and I'm going to share how you can have the best day ever at Dorney Park. Whether you're planning your first trip or you visit multiple times a year, my goal is to make your visit as smooth and flawless as possible. Each year, over 1 million guests visit Dorney Park, and most of them don't know about these secret tips that I'm going to share with you today. I'll cover everything from the coasters and flat rides to the incredible water park, as well share my ultimate plan for how to get on all the rides without waiting hours in line. Dorney Park is one of the most underrated parks in the region, and it's definitely worth a visit, so let's make sure you do it right and get the most out of your experience. Let's start with what you should do before your visit. Planning ahead is always the key to save you time and money. Before you visit, make sure to purchase your ticket online. Do not purchase a ticket at the front gate because that can sometimes cost close to double the online price. Purchasing your ticket from before is key, and Dorney Park has a couple of options to choose from. If you're planning on visiting once, then a regular ticket is just fine and it will usually cost somewhere in the $50 range. This will give access to both Dorney Park and Wild Water Kingdom for a full day. If you plan on visiting more than one time during the season, then the season pass is your best bet. There are two types of passes, the silver and the gold. Both include free parking, but the silver pass will only give you unlimited visits through Labor Day, while the gold will allow you to visit through the fall. There's also a $100 add-on you can purchase with the gold pass that will allow you to visit all the other parks in the Cedar Fair chain. So now that you got your ticket, you're going to want to download the Dorney Park app on your phone before you visit. This will help you with directions in the park as well as ride wait times. If you don't have a season pass, make sure to purchase a parking pass before you arrive, which can run you around $30. How many days do you need at the park? Dorney Park is one of the most underrated parks in America, and I'd recommend a full day to properly experience the park. A full day should be enough time for you to enjoy both the water park and the amusement park. If water parks aren't your thing, you might be able to get away with just half a day at the park. But there's so much to do there, so I'd recommend just staying the full day. The day of. Make sure to arrive about 30 minutes earlier than park opening. On most days, the water park will open at the same time as the amusement park, in which case if you're planning on going to the water park, I recommend doing that first. Wild Water Kingdom is one of the most popular water parks in the region, and it can get very crowded, while Dorney Park itself, on the other hand, usually won't have such long lines. Arriving 30 minutes before opening should give you enough time to park, get through security, and use the bathroom before the start of your day. Always make sure to remember where you parked your car, because you don't want to have to look for it at the end of the day when you're exhausted after all that walking. If you're doing the water park, arriving on time is key, as it'll let you ride most of the slides before the water park begins to get crowded. After spending some time at the water park, I'd recommend taking a short lunch break before following my master plan to get on all the major rides in the amusement park. Looping Thrills tip. Always get food at odd hours of the day if you don't want to wait in line. During regular lunch hours, the food lines will be very crowded while the ride lines won't be. Taking a later lunch will allow you to take advantage of both short ride wait times and short food lines. I wouldn't recommend buying a fast pass as the park usually isn't so busy, and if you follow my plan, you shouldn't have any issues getting on all the rides and roller coasters without waiting too long in line. The crowds at Dorney Park usually aren't so bad, and they have pretty good operations running multiple trains and all their major coasters. The only time I'd tell you to consider getting a fast pass is if you want to visit the water park during peak hours. As I mentioned before, the water park is one of the most popular in the region and might even be better than the nearby Hershey Park and Six Flags Great Adventures water parks. Let's talk about the coasters. As of 2024, Dorney Park offers 8 different roller coasters, plus another 37 different rides and attractions. That's not including the over 15 attractions in Wild Water Kingdom. Thunderhawk is the park's oldest coaster, which also happens to be celebrating its 100-year anniversary in 2024. This is the only wooden coaster at the park, and it has a rich history. Steel Force is the park's Morgan Hyper coaster, which opened in 1997. The park made some major improvements to this coaster recently, and I've heard it's riding better than ever. I've also enjoyed this hyper coaster, and it's definitely a must-ride attraction when visiting Dorney Park. Woodstock Express is the park's Zamperla Kiddie coaster, which opened in 2000, and speaking of kids, this park has a great kiddie area that is sure to get your kids smiling all day long. Dorney Park also has a Wild Mouse, which is, well, your classic old Wild Mouse. This ride has also been at the park since 2000, and this ride can get one of the longest wait times in the park due to its poor capacity. In a minute, I'll share my plan on how to wait in line the least possible during your visit to Dorney Park, but first let's finish going through the major coasters. Talon, which opened in 2001, is an inverted coaster built by B&M. This is one of the better inverts out there, and it's a must-ride attraction when visiting Dorney Park. The park also has Hydra the Revenge, which is another coaster built by B&M, this one opening in 2005. This coaster is a floorless coaster and is one of the best I've ever experienced. The JoJo roll on this ride is really something else, and I can't recommend this coaster enough. Hydra is definitely a must-ride attraction as well when visiting the park. Possessed is the park's only launch coaster. Being built by Intamin, this relocated impulse coaster first opened at the park in 2008. This coaster is one of my personal favorites at the park, and I don't know why no one else talks about it. There's something I really love about these Intamin impulse coasters that is truly amazing. Maybe it's the fact that you continue to ride through the launch area time and time again while hearing the loud squeaking sound the coaster makes as it launches through the station. Possessed is a really awesome ride, and you can't miss it when you visit Dorney. The final coaster at Dorney Park is the park's major 2024 new addition. Iron Menace is a B&M dive coaster located in the well-themed New Steel Yard area at the park. The park did a great job with this attraction, and it's one of the most unique dive coasters in existence. Iron Menace is actually the only B&M dive coaster ever to go straight down the drop after cresting over the top of the lift, while all other dive coasters feature a small turnaround before dropping straight down. Iron Menace is likely gonna be the most popular attraction at the park, but don't worry, cause this coaster has incredible capacity, so the line shouldn't ever get too long. That's all for the coasters, but let's quickly go through the other must-do attractions at the park. Demon Drop is the last remaining original Intamin free-fall ride in the world, and it's really an incredible one. This attraction is super unique, and it has an insane drop. Some people even consider this a roller coaster, so make sure to get a ride on it while you still can. Thunder Canyon and Thunder Creek Mountain Ride are two awesome water rides. The first is a regular river rapids ride, but be prepared to get absolutely soaked on this one as there are a ton of waterfalls throughout the ride. Thunder Creek Mountain Ride is a great log flume and is a pretty unique one if you ask me. The park also has Whitewater Landing, which is an 80-foot tall arrow chute, the Chutes Ride. These attractions can get longer waits than the coasters though, so be smart when you get in line. Dorney Park also has a Zamperla Hawk called Meteor and a Chance Frisbee called Revolution, and there's also a beautiful train ride that will give you some time to relax and take in great views of the park. The final major flat ride I'll cover is Dominator, which is a traditional drop tower offering two different experiences. One of the sides will shoot you up while the other will shoot you down. How to beat the lines. Dorney Park doesn't get too crowded, but you still should have a plan to minimize wait times as much as possible. No one likes waiting online. So here is my secret plan for getting on all the major coasters while waiting in line the least. Assuming you're headed straight for the amusement park, I recommend first getting a ride on the Wild Mouse. Getting on this attraction early will help you skip waiting in line on one of the park's lowest capacity attractions. After Wild Mouse, I'll make my way to Demon Drop, as the ride probably isn't the most reliable. so grab your ride while you can. Keep in mind, not everything is gonna go as you plan, so don't get stressed when you're thrown a curveball, as these parks are there for you to have fun and relax. After Demon Drop, I'll make my way to Possessed, as this ride can only run one train and also isn't the most reliable attraction. The order after this doesn't really matter that much, as most of the other coasters at the park won't get such long lines and have great capacity. On the left side of the park, you still have Iron Menace, Thunderhawk, Steel Force, and Hydra, while you have Talon all the way on the right side of the park. If you're not visiting the water park, your goal should be to get on Talon before the water park begins to close, as once Wild Water Kingdom closes, the crowds are going to begin making their way into the amusement park, and Talon is the first ride they'll see, so it can get a bit of a line. You shouldn't have any issues getting on all the major attractions at least once if you're just doing the amusement park, and you should have enough time left at the end of your day to get multiple re-rides on all your favorite attractions. If you do visit the water park though, then I'd recommend following the same plan. Just save Wild Mouse for later in the day when the crowds calm down, unless it's a super short line. I really love Dorney Park, and it's honestly one of my favorite parks to go to. It may not be the biggest or have the best coasters in the area, but it's filled with world-class attractions that are sure to give you a great time every visit. I definitely recommend giving this park a visit, as it's one of the best Cedar Fair parks around. The new 2024 Steel Yard in Iron Menace looks great, and I hope the chain keeps investing in this park over the next couple of years. I really enjoyed making this video, and I hope you learned something new that'll help you have a better day next time you visit the park. I truly appreciate you for taking the time to watch this video, and I hope you enjoyed it. Let's all give Dorney Park a visit this year, and hopefully Cedar Fair will return the love and continue to build this park up into what it deserves to be. Good luck with your visit, and bye for now.